Guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel, and today I have another mock draft for you guys today. If you are new to my channel and this is the first time you're seeing some of my mock drafts, I do a mock draft every single Monday up until the last week before the 2021 NFL Draft. So if that's something that piques your interest, by all means make sure to like the video as well as subscribe to receive more of this content, and most importantly hit the notification bell, because by doing that you'll ensure that you will be able to see it when it drops. Now, with that being said, and as the title of the video suggests, we are going to start seeing some trends emerging regarding to certain prospects that I'm looking to see the Cowboys take, but most importantly, how I can justify and see them being interested in taking these specific prospects. So we're going to go ahead and start out with what happened. I decided to stay firm with both of my first and second round selections. I decided not to trade any of them, trade up or down. Nope, just stay firm and have those two selections in this mock draft. And so with the 10th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, in this fifth mock draft, the Dallas Cowboys selected Rashawn Slater, offensive tackle out of Northwestern. Now, I did select him in my previous mock draft, but as I think is going, what I think is going to be the case, I think that Rashawn Slater is going to end up being a top 10 selection in this draft. And whether he be taken before the Cowboys or at specifically pick 10, or maybe even hell, a pick or two after, he is definitely one of the safer options you have. And considering the fact that your first round picks are usually someone you can see down the road in 5 years receiving a second contract, you gotta have to take this into account. And as I do more research on Rashawn Slater, as well as other specific prospects that I think the Cowboys are interested in possibly could take, I think that he's the best option you have. Him and Sewell are probably, if either one of them is on the board, I think you had to take him. And I know you may be asking, Space, why are you taking him again? He has short arms. Why are you taking a lineman with your top 10 pick? You might be saying all that, but I'm going to go into depth of why I would take Rashawn Slater and why he is, in my opinion, my pet cat going into this draft. Now, number one is this. You have the successor to Tyron Smith on the roster. That is the first thing. You have a guy that can take after Tyron Smith once he gets too old, once he's too beat up, or if you just want to remove him from the team because of salary cap issues, or rather, hey, he's just not worth the money. So there's that. Also, he brings in a youth to this offensive line to where you can kick him into left guard and you basically solve your left guard problem. By kicking him into left guard, you ensure that you basically have someone there to hold down the position and play at a high level. If Tyron still holds up for a couple more years, you definitely have him playing there, and your offensive line pretty much is solidified to a certain extent, assuming everyone stays healthy, which is not going to be the case. But the key thing is that the long-term implications of this. So I kind of looked into it, like with how the contracts are going to be and what might happen. So think about this. In 2021, if the Cowboys take Rashawn Slater, you can have a starting lineup of this at your offensive line unit. Left tackle is Tyron Smith. Rashawn Slater is at left guard. Tyler Biadasz is at center. Zach Martin at right guard. And Lyle Collins at right tackle, okay? And when you look at the median age, Tyron would be 30. Rashawn Slater would be 21, 22. Tyler Biadasz would be 23. Zach Martin would be 30. And Lyle Collins would be 28, okay? Now, with that being said, if Tyron Smith is able to hold up for the season, even if he misses 3 games, I think you can still kick Rashawn Slater at the left tackle, or Connor Williams in this case, because he would be the odd man out. So you have some backup options there. But more importantly is the long-term implications. Let's say in 2022, the Dallas Cowboys decide to move on from Tyron Smith. With that being said, you can kick Slater out to left tackle. He'd be 22, 23. You would be able to put Connor McGovern at left guard because he still would have 1 more year on his contract, and if you want to bring him back, I can maybe understand it if he's playing very well and he can get a cheap contract. If not, okay. So he would be 25 years old. Tyler Biadasz would be 24. Zach Martin would be 31. And Lyle Collins would be 29 going into the 2022 season. So basically, you got younger at your left tackle position. So your left side of your offensive line is now young. And now you basically have one of the better guards in the league and a right tackle, which sure, we don't know what the hell's going to happen, but you definitely have a guy in La'el Collins who you can lean on. Okay? Depending on how bad the hip injury is, if he is at least 80%, like I always say, if he's at least 80%, that's good for, that's good enough for me. So with that, I think that Slater is the pick. He gives you versatility on that offensive line. You ensure you have a successor in place for Tyron Smith. Or even if Tyron is hypothetically able to stay upright and he manages to give you good production, now you have an offensive line unit where you have figured out your left guard position. Basically, you can put him in the La'el Collins situation, but for a longer period of time, or maybe just 1 year. So there's that. As for the second round selection, with the 42nd overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys selected Richie Grant, safety out of UCF. I'm really starting to like Richie Grant as much as I liked Moreg and his other teammate from TCU, which I can't recall off the top of my head, so I apologize for that. Richie Grant is starting to grow on me as a prospect. The Dallas Cowboys did, in fact, meet with him at the Senior Bowl, if I recall. And basically, the more I look at it, the more I would like to see him in this system. If the Cowboys could pick him up in the second round, that would be fantastic. The Cowboys would be able to address their safety concerns. I think that either way, the Cowboys need to figure out what they're going to do. There have been rumors that the Cowboys could possibly get Keanu Neal in free agency, but I doubt that unless Quinn is really pushing for him. So we'll see what happens there. But ultimately, I do believe that the Cowboys need to address the safety position. I think if they're going to do it, this could be the year to do it. I'm not saying they have to take a safety with their first round selection. Absolutely not. But if they can invest a premium pick, that being, a top 100 pick at the safety position, that'd be fine with me. I think that, when it came to last year, I'm excited that we got Trevon Diggs, but I was looking at more, getting a Xavier McKinney or, Grant Delpit. One of those guys, I would have loved to have him. But with that being said, I think that this is the year we might see safety addressed. If Rod Marinelli was able to have a much impact in terms of who he drafted on defense, I think that Robert Quinn will have the same impact. So, with all that put into perspective, I think Richie Grant will be a Dallas Cowboy. And I'm going to go on a bold prediction there. I think that he will be a Dallas Cowboy in 2021. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's just one of my bold predictions. But with that out of the way, those were my two selections, Rashawn Slater and Richie Grant. I think that would be perfect. You managed to get your safety. You managed to get an offensive lineman who will be a staple on your offensive line for a couple, for definitely a decade if all things work out. So I definitely like that. And if you're asking what happened in this specific draft, the Dallas Cowboys were going to be unable to take corner because Patrick Surtain went off the board, and I'm thinking that, and also Caleb Farley went off the board. So you're left with J.C. Horn. Rashawn Slater was there. Of course, you had Kyle Pitts and Jalen Waddle on the board, but I don't think that that's where you go in this situation. So with that being said, I think I've gone on for long enough. How do you guys feel about this mock draft? By all means, leave in the comments down below how you felt, and put your own mock drafts down there. I use the Draft Network. They've been fantastic in terms of doing, these simulations of mock drafts. So I'm really curious to see what you guys have to offer. So I will catch you guys next week for another Mock Draft Monday. And I'll catch you guys later in the week with some more content regarding the offseason for the Dallas Cowboys beginning. So have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye-bye.